Hello and welcome back to episode 2. In our last episode, we saw our friend Dr. R was faced with a major problem. He really wanted to wear his banana socks, but Mrs. R and Baby R were playing with them. So we decided that this is probably just a small problem. It's one that Dr. R could solve by himself pretty easily. So how do you solve a small problem? Well, every problem is different, but in a case like this, it's probably best to go to the person you're having a problem with and express your needs. Tell them what you want and maybe give it a short explanation so that they understand your point of view. Why do we use our words to communicate? Here's an example of why not using words doesn't always go so well. What's the matter? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Are you worried you'll miss a deadline? Just use your words. So, it seems obvious that we're not going to cry like a baby every time we have a little problem, but I think we do something sometimes that might not be the best communication. You might run out of the room, or you might break your pencil, or you might sit and pout. And if you're doing any of those things, does the person that you're talking to and having the problem with, do they know where you're coming from? Do they understand your point of view? So that's why we really need to use our words, speak clearly, tell them what you want, and we'll see what happens. It's important to keep in mind it doesn't always work out, but if you express what you need, the other person knows what it is you want, why you're upset, and then you can work together to solve the problem. Excuse me, Mrs. R.
Yes?
I need to put on some socks, and I was going to wear those socks. Could I please have those socks?
I am playing with these socks.
Well, I was going to wear them, and I would really appreciate it if you would give them back to me.
Well, what about these socks?
These socks are too plain.
What about these socks?
These socks are too small.
I'm playing with these socks though. You could wear this.
This isn't even a sock.
Alright. These ones are not too plain and they're not too small, and it's a sock.
But these socks don't match my shirt.
But Mr. R, these socks don't match your shirt either.
It's Dr. R, and please don't change the subject.
What should I do now? I tried to communicate clearly, but it didn't work out the way I wanted. This is turning from a little problem into a medium problem. Maybe I'll call a trusted adult. I know. Maybe Mr. T or Mr. B. Mr. B doesn't always give the best advice, but he always answers his phone. Mr. T gives good advice, but he's usually really busy. Maybe I'll try them both and see who I can get. First, I called Mr. B and I explained the situation.
Well, when someone has what I want, I just take it. You're never going to get anywhere in life if you let people take things from you. You got to do what you want. Take control of your own life.
I wasn't really sure what to do with that advice. I did want to take what I wanted, but what would happen then? I better call Mr. T to see what he has to say. Luckily, he was available and answered on the first ring. I explained the situation to him.
Sorry to hear all that, Dr. R. That's a lot that you're going through. When I get upset, personally, I like to use a coping skill.
And welcome back. So, we just saw the brave Dr. R try his best to communicate with Mrs. R and explain why the banana socks are really important, but it didn't work out for him so well. Mrs. R was not willing to give up the banana socks. She did give some really good other possible suggestions, and some that weren't so good. But in the end, she kept the banana socks. So Dr. R decided to call his friends, and he got some advice that was a little strange from Mr. B. So Mr. B told him that he should just take the socks, but then he called his other friend, Mr. T, who said he should use a coping skill. So what I'd like you to think about is, which friend should Dr. R listen to? Should he listen to Mr. B, who says just take what you want? Or Mr. T, who says use a coping skill? And by the way, what is a coping skill? Have you ever heard of this? If you work with me, then I hope the answer is yes. And so what I would like you to think about today, as you go about your day, is what coping skill can you use to deal with a frustrating situation? And we'll see what you're able to do, and then we'll see what Dr. R does next time. So stay tuned, and I will see you tomorrow when Dr. R either takes what he wants or tries to use a coping skill to deal with a frustrating situation. See you later, and stay healthy.